Good morning, Abby. Good morning, Heather. Today, we bring you breaking news from Berlin. Polish farmers are blocking all border crossings with Ukraine, stating that nothing will pass through except military aid. The reason behind this action stems from the anger and protests against the European Union's agricultural policies. Polish farmers are discontent with the EU's decision to lower import taxes and quotas after agreements with Ukraine. This change, which took place in June 2022, allowed Ukrainian products to enter the Polish market at more competitive prices. Farmers believe that this situation is harming their livelihoods, leading to their ongoing protests against EU policies. Many Polish farmers speaking here today connect their frustration not only to the EU's policies on greenhouse gas emissions, but also to their dissatisfaction with the influx of cheap imports from Ukraine. Protesters argue that EU agricultural policies adversely affect local producers, prompting them to continue their actions. Furthermore, the solidarity and military support that Poland has shown to Ukrainian refugees seem to have a negative impact on the farmers' protests. The Ukrainian Minister of Infrastructure and Development shared a video on social media showing Polish farmers dumping Ukrainian grain on railway tracks, bringing attention to the situation. However, Poland's actions are causing serious concerns in the markets. Farmers persist in their actions, believing that the cheaper agricultural products from Ukraine are causing harm to their own produce. The farmers continue to demand a halt to Ukrainian imports and changes in EU agricultural policies, opening up a new front in this war of demands. Lastly, the statements from the Ukrainian Minister of Infrastructure and Development, along with the reactions against Poland's agricultural policies, could escalate tensions in the relations between the EU, Poland, and Ukraine. Heather, as you listen to Abby, I wonder how you perceive these developments and their potential impact on the ties between the two countries. Tonight, there are growing concerns that Vladimir Putin's invasion of Ukraine 2 years ago could spill over into NATO territories. Reporting from northeast Poland, near the Ukrainian border, CBS's Charlie Daga informs that more than 10,000 U.S. troops are currently stationed. Soldiers from the 3rd Infantry Division of the U.S., hailing from Georgia, are forming the initial defense line. This exercise is not only about ensuring individual soldiers are ready for war, but also about ensuring the entire army is prepared. We are here to be ready in case of an attack from a regional adversary. And while the name of this regional adversary may not be disclosed, military planners have a good reason for conducting war games and invasion drills here. The Saki Gap is a critical point just 40 miles away from NATO. In the event of Russia's attack on Kaliningrad or Putin launching an assault on Belarus, it could sever the connection between the Baltic states and other NATO countries. However, this exercise could be jeopardized due to the critical funding for both the United States and Ukraine being at risk, pending approval from the U.S. Congress. The halt of these forces could threaten a range of activities, including supporting U.S. Army operations in Africa and Europe. Colonel Martin Odin Mone expresses concerns about finances, warning that if nothing changes, funding could run out before summer. A high-ranking official from the U.S. Army, speaking about the urgency of the aid package for Ukraine, states that the funding shortage not only jeopardizes critical supplies for Ukraine, but also poses a threat to U.S. Army operations in Europe. Thanks to Charlie Daga for providing this crucial information. Polish protesters persist in blocking 6 out of 9 checkpoints along the Ukrainian border. According to the UPROM Association, citing the International Transport Union, the strikes aim to halt the movement of both cargo and passenger transportation, including buses and trains. The intensified competition following the liberalization of international transport between Ukraine and the EU has led to more than 500 trucks queuing to enter Ukraine as of the morning of February 20th. The situation at the Polish border is not acceptable as a straightforward matter of justice, with only 5% of Polish agriculture experts using Polish oil finding it tolerable. So, in essence, the issue is not about grain, but about politics. The blockade at the border significantly delays and complicates the supply of perishable humanitarian aid materials and fuel to Ukraine. This negatively affects Ukraine's stability, defense capabilities, and overall makes it the country paying the heaviest price for European solidarity. Farmers and truck drivers should come together to resolve this situation without undermining Poland's significant solidarity with Ukraine. The current state of the border is not in line with the traditions of the Poland-Ukraine partnership and harms the national interests of both Poland and Ukraine. Anastasia Tava from Ukraine has informed the European Commission about the critical situation and expressed hope for a solution at the EU level.